I think we're on. It's that time again for Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel, brought to you from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal, and we've got a lot to talk about today. So I think what we'll do is get our ad out of the way and then have at it. Time Out Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. You know, if it's time for a new to you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself, and when you're ready, ask for Russ McMorty, Chris Hodis, Danny Spieth, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, or their newest sales professional, Bob Flynn. Yep, that Bob Flynn. And when it comes time to service that new to you vehicle, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together, looking just as good as new. So for all your automotive needs, look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, 517-849-2886, or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come experience the Frank Beck difference. And together, let's drive. Okay, I thought we'd get the NHL and NBA playoff current status out of the way first thing first. Looking at the NHL in the East, the Hurricane last night beat the Rangers 4-1, and that's a little surprising to me. I thought the Rangers might have an easier time of it, but right now, the Rangers have a 3-2 lead in that series, and it's far from over. That could go all 7 games. Like I said, I'm surprised at the Hurricanes' comeback. They were down 3-0 in that series, and they've come back to making anybody's series right now a 3-2. The Bruins tonight are playing the Panthers. Florida leads that series, and that's another one that's a little surprising to me. Florida leads that series 3-1. Okay, now that's the status in the East. Looking over in the West, the Stars beat the Avalanche last night 5-1. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Dallas. Dallas happens to lead that series 3-1. I'm a little bit surprised at that series too. I kind of picked the Avalanche to come out of that series and get in the Western Finals again, unless the Denver can mount a comeback. Looks like Dallas coming out of there with that one. Meanwhile, tonight in the Canadian Rockies, you've got the Canucks in Edmonton. Vancouver leads that series 2-1. So you've really got some competitive, both East and West. You've got some really competitive series going on. Who would I pick in the Stanley Cup Finals right now? Boy, that's tough. I'm liking take Dallas, and I'm still taking the Rangers. I don't know. They're taking the Rangers to come out of the East. Anyway, looking over the NBA, the Celtics last night took a commanding 3-1 lead over the Cavaliers with a 109-102 win. Pacers are in New York to play the Knicks tonight. Another tough series, tied at 2 games apiece. I still like the Knicks coming out in that one. Looking over the West, you've got the Thunder last night beat the Mavs 100-96. That series is tied at 2 games apiece. Tonight, another good series. You got the T-Wolves and the Nuggets in Denver, and that series is tied at 2 games apiece. As you all know, I'm sure you do, probably, the NBA had its draft lottery Sunday. And for the second consecutive year, in spite of the fact that the Pistons had the worst record in the league, They're picking number 5. You can't convince me that thing isn't rigged. Other people will tell you it's not, but I guess the one saving grace or consolation in all this, and by the way, the Pistons are still looking for a president of basketball operations. Apparently, they've approached several candidates who've turned them down. It's my understanding that this new president of operations is going to have the final say on all personnel moves. What's Troy Weaver doing there? Well, why is he there? Anyway, I'm not really sure when the draft comes up. Obviously next month. I don't know exactly what night it is, but what I was getting at is the one consolation in all this is with the talent pool or talent level rather in this year's draft so low, and there is no obvious number 1 pick. The Hawks have that, by the way. There's not much of a disparity in picking between 1 and 5. But if I'm running the Pistons, if they found their president by the time, I'm assuming they will by the time we get to the draft next month, I'm taking the best, picking at 5. I'm taking the best 3-point shooter I can find out there. I don't care if he can't play defense or rebound or what. Just give me a couple of guys that can throw the ball in off their hip from behind that arc, because that's what this league has come to now. Jaden Ivey, I thought, at least when he played at Purdue anyway, was a pretty good long-range shooter. I don't know what happened to him. The only dependable long-range shooter they have right now is Cunningham, and I don't think he's all that good. Anyway, so more bad luck for the Pistons. Is it? You still can't convince me this thing isn't rigged. Anyway, that's all we're going to say about basketball in the NBA right now. Enjoy the playoffs, because it's kind of nice watching really good competitive teams play, isn't it, compared to what we've got here? Yeah. Well, last night the Tigers had another quality start. Matt Manning up from Toledo because of injuries here. Kenta Maeda's sick, dealing with a virus. He's going to miss a couple of starts. I thought he pitched pretty well last night. He had a kind of a rough 5th inning, was it, when he gave up 3 runs? Anyway, thanks to a Spencer Torkelson home run in the 8th inning, a career-long 446 feet that essentially was the game-winning hit. Tigers went on to win the game. Jason Foley got the save, but 446 feet. I don't know how they measure that, but that's 1.5 football fields. Anyway, he's got the. I went back and looked at Tork's numbers from last year. He hit his 3rd home run on May 14th. He hit his 4th home run on May 20th. He's not that far off from last year's pace. He's got more doubles now than he did at this time last year. So let's hope he's heating up. That'll be a real windfall for the Tigers if he is. Then this is why a big reason why the Tigers have stuck with Torkelson. Through his early season struggles, he's a streaky hitter. He can heat up in a hurry, and he can lift an offense. And in Monday's case, he lifted the Tigers off the brink of falling under the 500 mark. So maybe he's one of these guys that going to hit home runs in bunches. Anyway, so really, if you want to look at it, he's still capable of hitting 30 or more home runs this year, I guess. There were several games last year, as you recall. He had multiple home run games. So he's certainly capable of that too. Maybe I've seen hitters like this before. We all have. You going to hit one tonight? Let's hope so. I don't know what the odds are on that. But anyway, the Tigers, as we speak, are 21-20. In 4th place in American League Central. I think they're 4.5 games behind the Guardians. You got to wonder, too, if the Tigers are in this same scenario when it comes to the trade deadline on August 1st. Will they make a move to bring in a bat, another bat, or help in the bullpen? Interesting. Obviously, Scott Harris has never been faced with a scenario like that. You wonder if what they would do if they were still in the running for a playoff spot this year. But that's a long way off. Who knows what they could be then? But the Marlins, they're probably even worse than the White Sox or the Rockies. Darn well better win the next 2 games. That's all I got to say before they embark on a Western trip that takes them to Phoenix for the weekend, and then on their way back, they stop at Kansas City. So win the next 2 games, will you? Yeah. Before we go any further, I'd like to say, too, put in a good word for a good man. Tim Lindley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale. 37 Waldron Street. That's about 150, 200 feet west of Howell. The place to go for any tech service need. And I don't think it's beating a dead horse when I say Tim Lindley is the absolute best tech service guy in our area. And we are blessed to have some guy like that around here, to take advantage of. Anything, any tech need you may have, whether it's a new computer or a used computer, maybe your current computer needs a little tweaking done on it, take it in and let Tim take care of it. He's the guy to see for that. If you maybe you just purchased a big screen smart TV, you need it mounted and programmed and set up, Tim will take care of that for you. If you need internet service installed, maybe you just went to a new carrier for your internet, Tim will take care of that for you. Printers, new or used, anything. You name it. It had to do with tech services, Tim will take care of it for you. 517-610-5372. Or better still, get in there and see them. Again, 37 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale, about 150 feet west of Howell. And when you stop in there, tell them Rick sent you. Would you please? Thanks. I'd appreciate it. Moving to the Lions now. They just completed their rookie mini camp in Allen Park. And a couple of first impressions on my own in seeing one-on-one interviews with the 6 young men that they drafted. Giovanni Manu, the 6'7", 350-some-pound monster out of the University of British Columbia. He revealed in an interview that he had a chance to go to some American schools, but he chose to go to the University of British Columbia. Apparently, he liked the coach down there or something. But this guy, if you hear that, it's 6'7", 350. This guy doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. He is a freak of a physical specimen. Now, is he a project? Yeah, but I have no doubt that under the tutelage of Hank Fraley, his offensive line coach, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, I think he will be a successful, maybe not this year, but next year. I think he'll be a very successful offensive lineman for the Lions. He needs to get his footwork down right now. But as far as having the physical tools, it's all there for him. No, he's got the ability to overpower whoever that's across the line from him there. Like I said, I have no doubt come next year, he will be a productive NFL offensive lineman. But of course, the big news coming out of Allen Park yesterday was the fact that the Lions have finally reached an agreement with Jared Goff. 4 years, $212 million, with 170 of that guaranteed. He will still be playing this year on his old contract, which will pay him $32 million. I thought I kind of have a hunch that and this is something Brad Holmes wanted to get done last year, but not everybody in the organization was on board with this. And I think if they'd have done it last year, I think they would have saved a little money. You could have got it done for well, this new contract is what, 53 million a year. You could have got it done last year for 45 million a year. So over the next 4 years, that would have saved you what, about 32 million? Maybe they would have had enough money to keep Ali McNeil or even Taylor Decker. My fear is that they're going to lose one or two or both of those guys after this year. They could always slap the franchise tag on McNeil if they had to, but Brad Holmes has never done that, and I never expect him to do that next year. Oh, but anyway, I'm a little bit surprised too, listening to the flagship station this morning. All of the irate callers calling in saying, "What in the world are the Lions thinking of giving a quarterback like this that kind of a contract? Does not have the ability to run, does not have a very strong arm, turns the ball over a lot." Jared Goff is the face of this franchise right now. And if anybody was deserving of this contract, I think it's him. It makes him the second highest paid quarterback in the league for now. You know that's going to change. Joe Burrow of the Bengals is making $55 million a year. Goff is a few years older than Burrow. But look at it this way. In Goff's first 7 years in the league, he's only missed 4 games. Burrow's first 4 years in the league, he's missed 13 games. Now, you might argue, well, that's because Goff is playing with a much better offensive line in front of him. That's a coherent argument, but it is what it is. Goff has been pretty durable since he's been here. Burrow is not, but so. Hey, congratulations to Jared Goff. He's going to be around for at least the next 5 years anyway. So if you add what the Lions are paying him this year on his current contract, like I think I said, is $32 million. For the next 5 years, that averages out. Well, it doesn't average out. It totals up to about $244 million over the next 5 years, which would be a little more than $49 million a year. So it is a bit of a discount from that $53 million if you total all 5 years into it. Well, it's a lot of money. It's hard to fathom that kind of money, isn't it? When you look at what they're paying St. Brown and Sewell and now Jared Goff, who will be next? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, getting back to Lions rookie mini camp, you may or may not know that Dan Campbell wasn't there. He was away on personal business. A source familiar with the situation indicated the issue keeping Campbell away was not a major concern. Following the rookie minicamp, by the way, the full team will convene for the first time this offseason for a set of organized team activities that will run May 21st through the 23rd. Talk about observations, though, from the rookie minicamp. It's hard to critique, especially a younger rookie player without pads. You know, all they're doing, they put helmets on and run around in shorts. They won't be putting pads on until July 29th when training camp opens up. You really you'll get a good indication then of what these guys are made of. You critique them a lot better when you watch them in pads and they start hitting somebody else. Now, rookie minicamp gives you a chance to interview these guys and see them run around in shorts. And apparently, Terrion Arnold did have an interception last week. We'll be dang, right? I told you on right after the draft, as soon as Arnold's name was announced and the Lions had picked him, he instantly became their best quarterback, and I firmly believe it. In fact, I might go as far as to predict that Terrion Arnold will be the 2024 defensive rookie of the year in the NFL. Yeah, he's that good. Anyhow, don't forget the. I didn't mention too. Almost forgot to mention too that the Lions announced yesterday that for the second year in a row they've sold out the season tickets. In spite of the fact that apparently the prices went up dramatically for this year. So there were people, I know people who simply came out and said they couldn't afford those prices anymore, but there was a rather lengthy waiting list. So apparently those people were there ready to jump on those tickets because they are sold out again. Another thing too, I wasn't aware of. When you buy a season ticket, there's a lot of fine print. It's almost like getting into a contract with the Lions. You've got to read all the fine print. But what a lot of people do is, during the course of the season, they'll sell those tickets at a profit. And the Lions, apparently, if you don't read the fine print, what the Lions are telling them is if you sell more than 5 games, we are going to revoke your season tickets. And you cannot reapply for another year. How do the Lions know that they're selling those tickets? Are they somebody there to look to see who's sitting in those seats every week? Anyway, I guess they can legally do that. I was not aware of that until I heard that yesterday. So if I'm a season ticket holder and I exceed my 5-game limit to where I can sell those tickets to somebody else, they shut me off. They revoked my season tickets, and I can't reapply for them for a year. Can they legally do that? Apparently they can because they're doing it. No. Is that everything? Have we covered everything? Oh, don't forget the schedule release is tomorrow night. This much we do know. The Thursday night game on September the 5th on NBC will feature the Ravens and the Chiefs. The first Monday night game will be the Jets at the 49ers. As far as the University of Michigan, we do know that they're opening the season against Fresno State on August 30th, I believe, if that indeed is Labor Day weekend. That will be a 7:30 night game on NBC. And the Michigan-Ohio State game is November 30th. Again, a noon game on Fox. I'd like to see them move that to a night game because it is an early game. A noon game obviously is 9 o'clock on the West Coast. But apparently, I guess they must get good ratings. But of course, this is all run by the TV networks now. Everything. So anyway, if I got you caught up on everything, I think we have. Justin Verlander made the start Sunday at Comerica Park. One thing I was thinking, watching him pitch, is this his last appearance in Detroit? Quite possibly, unless he decides to finish his career here. And he's obviously going in the Hall of Fame as an Astro too. But I just wondered about that. That's more than likely is his last appearance in Detroit. No, I think we've covered everything. Don't forget, there goes the voice. If I don't get off the air here too soon, I'm going to be sneezing. Don't forget Time Out with Andy Brown every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM. And I'll talk to you again Thursday night. I better get out of here. So long, everybody.